So I've pretty much been screaming at Ricky since he got here. Do you feel okay? I'm okay. Okay. I'm just so fired up right now. So guys, I watched Greg's video on how to beast. I've actually seen him before, but I've never once thought that he was on TRT. The kid's way younger than me. He's at least 5 or 6 years younger than I am. And he has like an average build, and I saw some of his videos. I'm like, okay, he vlogs, cool, whatever. But I never thought that he was on testosterone replacement therapy. And then I watched Greg's video, and I started chatting with Greg on Instagram because I was just getting so frustrated with everything that was happening in the kid's video where he was talking about his honest results on his 1 year of being on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. And so in going back and forth with Greg, I just started getting more and more mad, and so I decided to go back and check out this kid's videos because I couldn't see what his nanograms per deciliter were in that last video that he just did. It just has his 1 year transformation. He doesn't talk about his nanograms per deciliter or what his average testosterone levels were before he decided to jump on TRT at the age of 29. How can you jump on TRT at the age of 29? Like, you shouldn't need TRT until you hit like your late 30s going into your 40s, especially if your levels are still pretty much average, and his were. I went back to his first video. He has 7 videos on his TRT talking about his honest opinion going through the process because his body is a temple and he is willing to put himself through TRT just so you guys can watch and learn. Not to mention all the views he's gonna get from putting all the videos in a playlist and then posting a link to the telephone TRT company that you can buy and use his code to get TRT where he can make money off of it. It's because he wants to be honest with all of you. It's not because he wants to get more gains and bulk up and get bigger and maintain a low body fat because he doesn't have time to train probably as hard as he wants to. It's because he wants to do it. He's willing to put his life on the line and do it all for you. I'm glad we got that out.
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
That's pretty much what I was screaming at Ricky when it came on. I was just so angry. And I'll tell you what, guys, you know what? Videos like these, I'm so mad because this is like years and years of pent-up rage. Just seeing all the fake bullshit on YouTube that people do for views, and that's not even what gets me mad. What gets me mad is the people who are so gullible, it's not their fault, but they're so gullible that they fall for it. And they start idolizing people who don't give two f***s about them. It pisses me off because you're doing a disservice to your entire community. So anyways, before I blow a neck vein, I went to his original video. I'm gonna try to take this down a few levels so you guys can pay attention. His T levels, I have it written down here. He was at, in December of 2018, he's 29 years old. His T levels were 516 nanograms per deciliter. And just so you guys know, average testosterone levels is between 270 and 1,070 nanograms per deciliter. That's average, okay? So being smack dab in the middle of that is totally fine. You're totally fine. If you go to the gym, eat right, and sleep enough, you're gonna make gains, okay? It's totally fine. But then he talks about all these different pills and ways he was eating, and he said he managed to double his testosterone levels in 3 months, and then by April, he's still 29 years old, and he got his testosterone levels up to 991 nanograms per deciliter without being on TRT. So I don't even want to get into that. But then even after he got his T levels up to 991, and remember, Greg in his video said that right now his T levels are like 750 nanograms per deciliter.
Mine's 750.
But he keeps talking about in the video, I want to get my T levels even higher. I want to max out my natural potential for my T levels, so I'm going to jump on TRT. TRT is still steroids. You're still putting testosterone in your body. People say, oh, I won't do steroids, but I'll do TRT. It's the same thing. It's just a lower dose. Like, come on, guys, right? So he jumps on the TRT, and then he has a couple videos on that. But he talks about the reasons why he decided he wanted to go on TRT. And in the most recent video he did right now, just to kind of put things into perspective for you, his most recent video is 1 year, update or transformation, whatever it's called. he said his T levels were as high as 1,500 nanograms per deciliter.
And bro, like my testosterone levels were through the roof. My total T was up at 1,500. It was actually above 1,500, which is super high.
So average is 270 to 1,020. He's sitting right in the middle, which is where I'm sure the majority of all of you watching this video are right now, and you're making amazing gains in the gym. But then he decides to triple that to max out his natural potential by taking TRT, and now he's seeing all kinds of gains. And it's the reason why I want to talk more about the first two videos is because you can get to more of the truth as to why he really did it, in my opinion, in those videos. And it wasn't because he wanted to do this honest experiment with you guys. It's because he wanted to get bigger, and he wanted to stay lean, and he wanted to get stronger, and not necessarily have to put in more work to do it, all right?
But I'm also a bro who likes working out. A lot of my YouTube content's about fitness, so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't also very curious about what type of gains I would see.
This is what happens to all of you watching my video who are super young, and the majority of you who watched his video are also probably super young. The reason why when you get to be like in your late 20s, early 30s, and you start getting more tired and you don't have enough time to train and you're probably not hitting your goals as fast as you want to, it's because shit happens. Life takes over. You find a husband or wife. Your job becomes more intense because you're trying to better yourself. Maybe you started a business. That time block that you had, let's call it a circle, let's call it a pie chart, when you could literally take half of that pie chart and dedicate it to training, and then the other half dedicate it to just shit you're doing in your life. By the time you hit like your late 20s, early 30s, if you're doing everything right and becoming successful, that now half of that chart that you dedicated to training has now turned into this, a little slice. And it's a lot harder to get bigger and stay ripped when you only get a little slice now to go to the gym. I do this shit full time. This is my job. I literally make YouTube fitness videos, and I still only got a little slice because I got so much other shit to do. I have a family. I have a house. I have Ricky. He is like a kid I never wanted. But like these are the real reasons why someone like him goes on TRT. And if you, in his second video, okay, he starts talking about his 3-month honest results of how he feels being on TRT, okay? Well, actually, no, hold on. Let me go back to the first video. There's one more point I wanted to make. So in that video, he talks about how he was on a cut. This is before he went on TRT, okay? He's on a cut, and he's like, I feel weaker than I did on my last cut. I feel, I lost more muscle than I did on my last cut. And he's already given these reasons why, you know, he's going to go on TRT. He's like preparing you mentally so you feel bad for him.
So I'm weighing in about 173 pounds right now. I'm down 12 pounds on this cut over the last 6 weeks. Unfortunately, I think that I've lost some muscle too, just because I've lost a lot of strength this cut, a lot more than on my previous cut.
Well, that's what happens when you're on a cut and you're natural. You get weaker and you lose muscle, especially if you're not eating correctly, because I don't know his macros. Maybe he is. I'm speculating. I don't know his macros. I don't know his workout schedule. I don't know his sleep schedule. All I know is that if all those things are in place, you can minimize how much strength you lose and how much muscle you lose. So I don't know. Maybe he messed up and his cut was worse this time because he did a worse job than the last time he did his cut. That's why when you see these natural athletes who are getting ready to step on stage and they're still benching 315 at like 160 pounds when they're supposed to be fully depleted, that's how you know they're not natural, because they got all that testosterone running through their veins. Even at a small dose, is still going to make them feel like superheroes. But by the end of his first video, he shows all these pizzas on the table, some cheesecake, some cheese sticks, like 5 milkshakes, and he's like, F this cut, it's time to bulk, right? And then he had his friend over, and he talked about how they were going to have a cheat meal and eat all that food. So it's like the true colors are starting to show through here. He wants to be able to eat what he wants, and he wants to be able to grow, and he wants to be able to stay lean, and he also wants to be able to gain strength. And you can't have everything. You can't have your cake and eat it too, unless that cake is full of testosterone. That's how it works. Guys, it's no secret. Getting older sucks. Forcing yourself to go to sleep sucks, okay? Forcing yourself to work out hard in the gym and continue to work hard for 20 plus years sucks. All these things sucks, and it takes hard work and determination. I'm a Dragon Ball Z kid. I grew up watching Goku and Vegeta beat the absolute living crap out of each other, and then watching poor Vegeta always one step behind, but he never goes to the doctor and asks for TRT because in his mind, he wants to be the one who's strong, and he wants to be the one who gains that power with his own power. And to be honest, that's how I feel. I don't know my T levels right now. I actually refuse to go to the doctor to see what they are because I don't even want to put the thoughts in my head that they are low. I'm 35 years old. I feel absolutely amazing. Sometimes I don't get enough sleep, but that's because I like to stay up late playing Call of Duty getting headshots. If I just stopped playing Call of Duty at like 11 instead of 1, then I would get an extra 2 hours of sleep sometimes and I wouldn't be tired that day. Like, it's like a mental game. You have to play with yourself. And men nowadays and young kids nowadays are so mentally weak that they're always looking for a drug or some excuse for their actions when they could just take responsibility. Do you know what happened during the Great Depression? If you didn't get enough sleep and you didn't get enough food and you were too tired to go to work, you died and your family died because you weren't going to work and getting shit done that you had to get done. So if they could fight through all that bullshit, the men of that age, and still get things done and still provide for their families and still... But now we move into the second video, and this is where I started to also get really mad. He starts off the video by saying, and everybody who like tries to pretend that they're like this righteous dude and like, you know, they're just doing this for you and they're just doing this experiment to try to maximize their natural potential, which is still not natural. If your T levels are getting that high from TRT, you're no longer within the natural range, my bro. But he's like, you know, I'm not doing this because I want to get huge like Jay Cutler and step on the stage and win at Olympia or anything like that. I just want to maximize my natural potential.
And I'm not doing this because I want to become the next Jay Cutler and step on stage on Mr. Olympia and win the gold medal of bodybuilding.
I don't want to.
It's complete, utter bullshit. But if you don't know better, you hear a sentence like that, and you think, oh, wow, this guy, he's such a Chad, man. This guy is just here for me, injecting himself with testosterone just so I can see what happens, and I can see how ripped he gets, and I can see how much muscle he put on. I can see how much stronger he got. This Chad is so amazing. And then I can go in the info section of his video and click his link and use his code, and he can make all kinds of money when I call this telephone testosterone, place to get my testosterone sent to my house. Because in America, all you really need to get certain drugs is a checkbook. That's just how it is.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, Chad is like super cool. Yeah. And another thing he talks about is the reason why he's only doing TRT and wouldn't do steroids because he wants something that's sustainable long term, which in itself is a sentence that doesn't make sense because he's not going to be able to sustain this long term unless he continues the TRT. And you guys have to get this drilled into your head, all right? If you start doing TRT, it is because you need it. Because your testosterone levels are so low that you're not able to make gains, your sleep sucks, and your life is, kind of shit because you're always tired all the time and you just can't function normally. That is why the average person should go on TRT. To go on TRT to get your levels to like 500 to 600 nanograms per deciliter. Majority of people who take TRT because they actually need it, they get between 500 and 700 nanograms per deciliter. That is where they end up, okay? Exactly where your boy was before he even started taking TRT. So it's all bullshit. The way I think about it is like this, all right? If you jump on TRT, it's not sustainable long term because once you jump on, you have to stay on. And even with post-cycle therapy, you're gonna lose the majority of the gains that you did gain, and that's gonna mentally screw you up enough to where you're gonna wanna go back on as fast as possible Because now all those symptoms that you felt before are probably worse because your body's not producing testosterone at the level it was before you jumped on the TRT, and you're never gonna feel satisfied with your body until you look the way you did when you were on it. That is what's going to happen. That is one of the worst side effects because it's a mental thing. It is body dysmorphia at its finest. And then later in that video, he starts talking about how his squat went from like 315 for 5 reps to 385 for 5 reps, and then how he could deadlift 500 pounds or 505 for his 1 rep max, and then his bench went up from like I don't know, 225 for 5 to 255 for 5 or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers on the bench. Ricky will show it. My point is, he shows the deadlift, he shows the bench. I was really looking forward to see how deep he goes on those squats with 385. And then he says something along the lines of like, well, I don't want to give all the credit to the TRT because I've actually been working out more frequently and benching and squatting more frequently, and that's why I'm getting bigger and stronger.
And look, bro, I do not want to give TRT all the credit. I've also bulked up to my heaviest weight ever. I've been benching and squatting with a lot more frequency, but at the same time, I have never gained strength this fast.
The only reasons why you're benching and squatting more frequently is because you're on the TRT, which is giving you more energy to go to the gym and making you stronger so you can bench more weight. So it is the exact reason why you are benching and squatting more. Like, who are you trying to convince at this point, yourself or us? Guys, I'm making this video. I could really care less about how to beast and what he does with his life. I'm making this video because each and every one of you who have seen that, I feel like you're being desensitized to what putting these things in your body can do. At the end of the day, ultimately, it is your decision. And I have friends that do TRT, I have friends that do steroids. I don't judge them. It's their decision. And it's a decision that they made because they had all of the information and things weren't sugar-coated for them to look like it was the greatest thing in the world. There are risks when you do PEDs. I have a video on them. You can check it out right here. It's a really great video. It talks about all the side effects that can or may not happen, but there's still a chance that they might happen. And my main thing is this. For me personally, okay, the reason why I get so fired up about stuff like this, I want to be able to maintain my body, my physique, and my state of mental wellness. Although Ricky might think I'm a little crazy, you guys might think I'm a little crazy sometimes. I have a pretty good life. I train super hard, I can go for runs outside, I have enough energy to get it on with my wife when I feel like it and she's not kicking me out of the bedroom. I can't wait for my wife to watch this video. But anyways, like my sex drive is fine, my workouts are okay. Sometimes I'm a little tired, I'll have a coffee. But overall, physically and mentally, I feel great, and I'm gonna be 36 years old this October. I wanna stay natural as long as possible, and in the event I have to absolutely jump on TRT, it is because something.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I'm only willing to do something like that because if I don't, it's gonna completely screw up my entire life. Not because I'm too tired to get out of bed sometimes. I mean, that's just a pathetic reason to wanna go down this route. Man up, do your workouts, sleep when you need to, and then don't jump on any of these things until you absolutely have to. You will thank me later. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was intense, but I'm sure Ricky had a lot of fun editing this one. If you missed any of my previous videos, you can check them out right here. And if you decided that you still wanted to check out my bro split, remember I jump back on bro splits now. That program's right there. I'll see you guys next time.